Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to solve another problem from the GATE question paper. This problem is based on the concept of CPU scheduling. Moving on to the problem statement. The problem statement is given as, consider the following set of processes assumed to have arrived at time 0. So according to the given data, we have 4 processes P1, P2, P3, P4. 4 processes which are arriving at time 0. That is, the arrival time of all the processes is the same. Now, we have been asked to consider 2 CPU scheduling algorithms, namely shortest job first and round robin. For round robin, we have been asked to assume that the processes are scheduled in the order P1, P2, P3, P4. If the time quantum for round robin is given as 4 milliseconds, then the absolute value of the difference between the average turnaround times in milliseconds of SJF and RR rounded off to 2 decimal places is. We have to find this. This is the question. That is, totally we are given 4 processes P1, P2, P3, P4. Their execution time or burst time is also given here. Now, we have been given 2 algorithms, namely SJF and round robin. What we have been asked to do is, we have been asked to find the difference between the average turnaround times of SJF and round robin, which is rounded off to 2 decimal places. And the time quantum given for the round robin algorithm is 4 milliseconds. So now let's start with the solution. Now first let's work out for SJF. That is, we are now going to see the Gantt chart of SJF, and from the Gantt chart, we are going to compute the average turnaround time for SJF. So look at the solution. This is the Gantt chart for SJF. Among the date, that is among the 4 processes which is given, the shortest process, the shortest job is P3, followed by P4, then followed by P2, and then finally P1. So the order of execution for SJF is going to be P3, P4, P2, P1. P3 enters at 0. Its running time is 2 milliseconds. So P3 comes out at 2. Now P4 goes in. P4's execution time is 4. Therefore, 2 plus 4 is 6. Then P2 goes in. P2's execution time is 7. So 6 plus 7 is 13. And finally, P1 goes in. P1's execution time is 8. 13 plus 8 is 21. So this is how the processes complete according to the shortest job first algorithm. Now, let's compute the average turnaround time from the Gantt chart. Now, the turnaround time of P1 is 21. Okay. Arrival time is 0. So, we need not subtract it. It's actually 21 minus 0, right? Because arrival time is 0. P2 completes at 13. So, 21 plus 13. P3 completes at 2. So, 21 plus 13 plus 2. And P4 completes at 6. Therefore, it is 21 plus 13 plus 2 plus 6. The whole thing divided by 4, the total number of processes. And we get the answer as 10.5 milliseconds. So the average turnaround time for SJF is 10.5 milliseconds. Now let's do for round robin. Round robin, the order of execution for round robin is given as P1, P2, P3, P4, and time quantum is given as 4 milliseconds. So based on this, let's now see the Gantt chart of round robin. Round robin at 0, P1 enters, runs for 4 milliseconds. The total execution time of P1 is actually 8. So when it is 4 completed, P1 comes out. So what is remaining for P1? Still 4 more milliseconds are remaining. Then P2 goes in. P2 runs up to 8 because every process is allowed to execute only for the given time quantum, which is 4 milliseconds. So what is P2's actual execution time? It is 7. So 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 milliseconds is remaining for P2. So for P1, 4 is remaining. For P2, 3 milliseconds are remaining. Then P3 goes in. P3's total execution time is only 2 milliseconds. Hence, 8 plus 2, 10 milliseconds P3 comes out. And the execution time of P4 is 4 exactly. Therefore, 10 plus 4, 14, P4 comes out. So P3 and P4 have completely executed. So they leave the system. P1 again comes back because remaining there is 4 again. 4 milliseconds of P1 is remaining. So P1 comes out at 18. Then P2 goes in. P2 has to execute for 3 milliseconds. So therefore P2 comes out at 21. So this is how we draw the Gantt chart for the round robin algorithm. Now let's compute the average turnaround time. So when does P1 complete? P1 completes at 18. So it's 18. Here, of course, arrival time is 0. So we say it as 18 minus 0. Now when does P2 complete? P2 completes at 21. Therefore, it's 18 plus 21. When does P3 complete? P3 completes at 10. Therefore, it is 18 plus 21 plus 10. And when does P4 complete? P4 completes at 14. Therefore, it is 18 plus 21 plus 10 plus 14. Total divided by 4, the total number of processes. Hence, we get the answer as 15.75 milliseconds for round robin algorithm. Our question was, what was our question? Our question was to find the absolute value of the difference between the average turnaround times of SJF and RR, rounded off to 2 decimal places. So now coming to the final answer, I have to subtract SJF's turnaround time and round robin turnaround time. That is 10.5 minus 15.75, which is 5.25. This is the difference between the two average turnaround times. I hope this problem was clearly explained to you. Thank you.